Good morning. Thank you for joining us again today. Tongue tangled up. Take your Bible with me this morning. If you would, go ahead and open up to the 26th Psalm. We'll be there starting in that Psalm this morning. And pretty good Psalm. Um, Interesting Psalm, I think. David is. He's going to be crying out to God. He's going to be praying to God, but he's going to be standing in a position that, or coming from a position that most of us probably are not real familiar with. David is going to be coming before God and basically saying that he has nothing to confess. Um, I will confess that I don't find myself in that situation too often. I don't know about you. Wonderful position to be in, wonderful position to have in your life, to feel very confident that you can open up your life, your heart to God, and allow Him to walk through and examine every nook and cranny, every corner of our life. And David says here, if you've got your spot in the 26th Psalm, David says, "Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in mine integrity. I have trusted also in the Lord. Therefore I shall not slide." Again, a great position for David to be in as he stands guiltless, innocent before God. That he and I wonder about this psalm a little bit. I wonder if perhaps we've come through some psalms, looking at psalms where David was being pursued and David was under attack, and I wonder about this psalm, if David was writing this psalm during that time as well, but he was declaring his innocence. Everyone is out to get David. David has been accused of everything. His son has rebelled against him. The people are, I'm sure, making some pretty wild accusations against David. And David comes and says, Lord, I stand before you in mine integrity. And what a great place to be able to come before God and declare your innocence. And so David is going to be pouring that out. People have different ideas about when David actually wrote this psalm. Maybe when Saul was pursuing him, and David says, I've done nothing wrong. I haven't done anything to Saul. Maybe it was when Absalom rebelled, and David again would say, I haven't done anything. That Absalom is and his followers are lying about me. Just different times in David's life that David could say such a thing, pray such a prayer. This Psalm 26 is one of three in the book where David is going to be seen going into the house of the Lord. In fact, the next three Psalms, 26, 27, 28, is he actually going into the house of God. Some who read this psalm look at it and see it as a prophetic psalm of the false accusations against Christ. But I said, there are prophetic psalms. I'm not sure that I necessarily agree that this one is, but I can see the point, what people are trying to make. So as we look at this psalm, I like in John Phillips' commentary, any of his commentaries are great. They're called Exploring, and they'll be exploring Psalms, exploring Hebrews, exploring, you know, Acts. All his books have that exploring title. And for this psalm, he has the heading over it of a divinely open life. And I think that's a great goal for us, is to be able to live our life in such a way that we are divinely open, that we're willing for God to come through, for God to walk through and examine us at any point. And so let's look at David's words here as we begin looking at this psalm. Again, David is crying out. He says, "Judge me." He's calling on God to judge him. Now, what he means by judge is not really necessarily what we think. When we think of judge, we think of, looking at something and choosing between the two, or a judge sitting on the bench in a courtroom. Actually, a better word for us here would be vindicate. David is calling on God basically to drop the charges that are being leveled against him by his enemy. Again, whether it's Saul or Absalom or someone else, he is the phrase I guess we would use is throwing himself on the mercy of the court. He's coming before God and just throwing himself open and saying, "Here I am, God, and I want you to declare me innocent in front of all these people." And so he acknowledges God. Again, we see this all capitals Lord. So he acknowledges God as Jehovah. And David is very bold here as he goes before God, and he says, I'm asking you to try my case. I'm asking you to make a decision, to make a ruling on this case. And again, whatever it was, and again, I've said before, I like the fact that in many cases the Bible is somewhat vague, because if it gave us explicit details, we would try to pigeonhole the psalm and say it only applies here. But by not giving us a lot of details, we can take this psalm and apply it to different areas of our life. And I think the lesson for us then is simply that we live our life in such a way that when we are accused, when the world comes against us, we're living a life of such caliber, of such character, that we can go before God and say, "God, here I am." I think of the song that Tommy Anderson sings at church about God walking through his house. And God wants to go in a particular room, and he says, "No, we don't go in that room." And we've probably all done that at some time or another. Had company coming over, and we went and threw stuff in the bathtub and pulled the shower curtain, or kicked it under the bed, or pushed it in the spare bedroom and locked the door or something. And if somebody wanted to see the house, we show them around all but that location. Well, David, spiritually speaking, is not doing that. He's pulling back the shower curtain. He's opening all the doors. He's pulling up the comforter, saying, "Look under the bed. Check it out, Lord. I am innocent. I'm living a life that I am not ashamed of." His conscience was clear. Now, David here, understand clearly that David is not claiming to be perfect. He's not claiming to be, sinless. But he's saying that in his, I guess we'd say, generally speaking, in his walk with God, in how he was dealing and working with others, that he was innocent, that he was pursuing the heart of God, that he was pursuing the things of God, that he was walking in integrity, that he was trusting in the Lord, and because of that, he says, "I shall not slide." I like that. I like that phrase, David. Here, again, whatever accusations were being made against him, David was saying basically, I won't waver. I won't, I'm innocent, and I'm going to trust God. I'm going to, I'm not going to leave the path of righteousness just because someone has wrongly accused me. And so, just going to get one verse done today because I want us to draw away that thought, and that is again the power, the benefit of a clean conscience. The only thing that really, one of the best ways I think we can understand the benefit and the goodness of a clean conscience is to have had a bad conscience. If you've ever had something on your heart, on your mind, some guilt uh, that was weighing on you, the grief that causes. You have something that you're trying to keep hid, and everybody you see, you're looking at them wondering, do they know? If you're a child, when you go home, you wonder, does she know? Does Mama know? Did they find out? You're constantly living in that despair, that fear, that thing that you've kept hidden is going to be found out. Uh, the This verse reminds us then of the opposite of that, and that is the power, the goodness, the benefit of having a clean conscience, being able to, when you walk down the street, there are people. Unfortunately, we all know this. There are people in this world who, when they walk down the street and they see a policeman, policewoman, police officer, they immediately get a little nervous. They get a little jumpy. On the other hand, most of us, we walk down the street and we see a police officer coming. As they come by, we nod, we speak, may even stop and talk with them because our conscience is clear. And we don't have anything to hide. Well, that's where David is, and that's again the best way to understand a clean conscience is to have ever struggled and wrestled with an unclean conscience and having something that we're trying to keep hid in our life and trying to keep from being discovered. And one of the other things about it reminds you, and those of you who are listening who are part of my church know that I reference this verse quite often. Psalm 66:18 says, "If I regard iniquity in my heart, He will not hear me." That thing we're hiding is interfering with our prayer life, which in turn makes us feel more guilty, and so it's a snowball rolling downhill. And so our desire, our effort should be to to get ourselves to the point, like David, where we can say, "Lord, here I am. Judge me. Take a look. Take a look at my life, at every corner of my life, and I'll not slide. I'm not leaving the path of righteousness." And so this morning, my prayer for us as we consider this psalm is that we will be able to sleep the sleep of the clear conscience, to be able um, to live our life in such a way that at any point we would be able and willing to say, "Lord, judge me." Judge me, Lord. Here I am. Judge me. Here I am. Some of you perhaps work in businesses, restaurants, have health inspectors, uh, beauty shops and hair salons have inspectors. Um, you know, daycares have inspectors. A lot of industries have inspectors that don't. They just pop in unexpectedly. Um, well, the ideal is to be running your restaurant or your beauty shop or whatever industry in such a way that when the inspector comes in, you can sit back and say, check it out. You know, here it is. And, I've worked in restaurants before, and I've seen that happen. That when the health inspector pulls in and they see him coming into the parking lot, people start hollering, "Run, do this, run, do that, run, hide this." Well, too late. Um, why not live our life in such a way that at any point we can say to God, "Judge me. Here I am." That should be our goal. Uh, I hope this is a challenge to you today. I usually say I hope this is a help, but today I hope it's a challenge. I hope it'll challenge you to live that kind of life, to deal with anything in your life that you wouldn't want God to find. Because here's the news you need to know, and most of you already know this. He's already seen it. He already knows about it. So let's live our life in such a way that we can say, Lord, judge it. Here it is. I'll give you the keys. You can check it out for what it is. All right. Have a great day. I'll see you back here first thing tomorrow morning.